Coaster Fox here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a video on 10 roller coasters I really want to ride, so 10 of my bucket list coasters. Just to be aware, before this video starts, this is not in any particular order, this is just 10 coasters, this is in top 10 bucket list coasters, oh, I want to ride this one the least out of the top 10, I want to ride this one the most. Now, this is just 10 coasters I thought about, I didn't do oh, I want this one here. This is more okay, what's number 10? And I just think of a coaster that I know is on my bucket list. The first one that I think of that's on my bucket list. The first coaster I think of and I know it's on my bucket list, I'm okay, this is going here. Yeah, so just to be aware, it's not a top 10, it's just 10 coasters on my bucket list. So, yeah, let's get started. At the number 10 spot, we have Kingda Ka, an Intamin Strata coaster located in Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. And the most obvious reason I want to ride this roller coaster so bad is because it's the world's tallest roller coaster. That is so cool. And this ride just seems really intense. I've ridden Accelerator and that's very fun. That was already tense enough, but this is even faster. So, that would be just insane. I can't wait the day till I ride Kingda Ka. I'll probably be blown away, oh my god, and it'll probably be one of my top coasters once I ride it, so I can't wait the day get to it, but for now, it's just a bucket list coaster, but yeah, I'll eventually get to ride the world's tallest coaster. So let's move on to the next coaster. At the number 9 spot, we have Ijinaika in Fuji-Q Highland. I don't know the city of this, but I know it's in Japan. Yeah, so there's Ijinaika in Japan, Fuji-Q Highland, but I don't know the city, but doesn't really matter. This is an aerodynamics 4D coaster, and yeah, this looks like a really, really fun ride, because it's a roller coaster, which is already intense, and then, flipping seats. It's just basically if you took a roller coaster and a zipper carnival ride, and put it together, you would get this monstrosity. And I'm saying monstrosity in a good way. This just looks like a fun ride. It looks really insane. I mean, I do have X2, just an hour away from me, Six Flags Mountain. Basically one of my home parks, I have X2, but Ijinaika looks even better. I've heard it's even better. So yeah, that's why I really want to ride Ijinaika, and yeah, it just looks like a really fun and intense ride. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next coaster. At the number 8 spot, we have Dodonpa. This is also at Fuji-Q Highland, the same park as Ijinaika. And basically, really, the only reason this is kind of like a thing where it's in an order. The reason why I really want to ride this more than Ijinaika is because it's the fastest accelerating coaster in the world. This is a compressor launch. I've never ridden a compressor launch coaster, but yeah, I really want to ride this because it would be my first compressor launch coaster at the time of this recording, and yeah, it's the world's fastest acceleration, so it would probably be so intense. It has that big loop, probably some great hang time. So just a bunch of hang time. I've ridden Full Throttle. That has amazing hang time. Imagine that with the fastest acceleration mixed with a great hang time. That would just be great. Again, one of my top coasters if I got to ride it right now. And yeah, I'm just excited for the day I get to ride this. And yeah, we're going to move on to the next coaster. Alright, at the number 7 spot, we have Mako. This is a B&M Hyper Coaster located in Orlando, Florida, and in SeaWorld Orlando, in Orlando, Florida. And yeah, that's where it's located. And this just seems like a great B&M Hyper. I've only ridden one B&M Hyper. I've ridden more B&M Hyper, more hyper coasters, but I've only ridden one B&M Hyper Coaster, which is Raging Bull, which is kind of a twister hyper coaster, and that was pretty underwhelming, but I know Mako would not, no way underwhelm me, because it's one of the newer B&M Hypers. I'm pretty sure it came out in, I forgot when it came out, I'm pretty sure 2016, and it just looks like a great ride. There's probably some great floater airtime, and it's right up against a lake. Get a beautiful view of Orlando. Probably would be the best coaster in Orlando if I ever get to go back there, because I've been there once. But yeah, I was really little, and Mako wasn't even there. But anyways, yeah, I just would love to ride Mako because it has some great photo airtime. It looks so fun. I love the color scheme. Yeah, it just looks a really fun, pretty intense ride. I love the bank turns at the end. Just it's kind of hard to explain. I don't know what it's about. It just looks like a fun ride. Like just looking at it, it just looks like a fun ride. That's all I have to say. Just airtime because it's so huge. It just looks like a fun ride. So we're gonna move on to the number 6 spot. All right, at the number 6 spot we have Nemesis, Alton Towers, in England, and this looks like a great B&M invert. At the moment, I've only ridden two. Like at the moment I'm recording this, I've only ridden two B&M inverts. That is Batman the Ride and Silver Bullet, like Batman the Ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and Silver Bullet at Knott's Berry Farm. Both of them are really good. I really love B&M inverts. Definitely one of my favorite coaster models. And Nemesis, people say it's the best. I believe it will probably be the best. So far, of all the B&M inverts I've ridden, I only ridden two, so I can't really compare it that much. But it does. Maybe not the best, but it looks like one of the best B&M inverts. Like, it's, like, I mean, if it didn't, it's a terrain coaster. It's a definition of a terrain coaster. If it didn't use the terrain, it'd probably be like ranked one of the lower on the B&M invert for not really having that, like the layout. If it wasn't a terrain coaster, the layout would just be like stupid. Like it would be like weird. Like it wouldn't make sense. But since it's a terrain coaster, the layout is so good. Just because it's a terrain coaster, that's what makes it so good. Like, there's probably some insane leg choppers, some just insane near misses. Like, it looks so good. Like, that terrain usage, though, is so good. Like, it's like, people say it's really intense, and there's some great near misses and great terrain. Like, terrain coasters just look so cool. I love terrain coasters. Um, why, yeah, I really love terrain coasters. I haven't really ridden that many. I've ridden a lot of family terrain coasters, but not really any frill um, terrain coasters. So this would be a very fun coaster to ride, and I can't wait the day till I get to go on Nemesis. And yeah, it'll probably be one of my top coasters because I love B&M inverts. So far, the two I've ridden, I love both of them. So I'd be probably really would love Nemesis, and I love like the terrain usage looks good, and I love near miss elements. And yeah, so let's put those together. Perfect ride for me. So yeah, so basically why I really want to ride Nemesis. So we're gonna move on to the next spot. At the number 5 spot, we have the Smiler. This is also located at Alton Towers, in England, like I said the last one. This ride just looks so good. Like, I really want to ride this. This is like my number one coaster I want to ride, but once I was like, I want to make a bucket list coaster video, like 2 weeks ago, it's like, never mind. But it's still on there, but it's not number 2, no way. But Smiler, this still looks like a really fun ride. Like, okay, the reason why I want to ride this, my obvious reason I want to ride this is because currently right now as I'm recording this, it holds the record for the most inversions on a single roller coaster. That is insane. Like, I really want to ride it. And the theming is so good. Like the Marmalizer in the middle, it's like the centerpiece. It looks so good, and I love the creepy, like quirky, like demented theming mixed with the world's most inversions. Like that is a ride for me. Like I really want to ride this because for the 14 inversions, the most inversions on a single roller coaster in the world, and the incredible theming. That's why, and like the inversions wrap around each other. It looks so cool. That's basically why I want to ride the Smiler so bad. But we're gonna move on to the next coaster. The next coaster here on the number 4 spot is Theory 325 at Carowinds in North Carolina South Carolina, because Carolines on um is on the border. It's like in two different states. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, the reason why I want to ride Fury 55 is because I've never ridden a Giga Coaster, which I will be riding a Giga Coaster most likely next year in Canada's Wonderland, Leviathan. That's B&M Giga Coaster, the first one, but this is this like the second one, and I really want to ride this because it does look better than Leviathan. I want to ride Leviathan, but this looks way better. Like it's so bad, it's so bigger, it's way bigger. Like it just looks like it's way bigger, way faster. It just looks better. Fury 325, like that name is so good. I really love the color scheme. It looks so fast. The elements look insane. There's probably some great ejector and floater airtime. Mostly ejector though, probably. I don't really remember the layout, but that treble clef element looks so fun. Like that, you probably go up and then you like drop under the, you just drop and your body just drops down into that tunnel, that lit up tunnel on Fury 55. That looks so fun. You just go under that bridge. That'd probably be one of my favorite elements. The drop looks good. You probably get some great floater airtime on that drop. I just really want to ride this Fury 325, and most coaster enthusiasts want to ride Fury 325. It just looks like it'd probably be one of my favorite coasters ever. As I'm saying for most of this, but yeah, probably coasters one of the coasters I really want to. At the number 3 spot, we have Flying Dinosaur. This is located in Universal Studios Japan, and this is a B&M Flying Coaster. This looks so good. Like, I have literally heard it's so good, and I'm like, oh, I wonder why it's so good. I watched the POV of it, and I'm like, whoa. Like, I've seen a lot of flying coasters where like, oh, that looks really good, but nothing outstanding. But this looks like something outstanding. Like, oh my god, like this looks huge, and it just goes around the park like you're doing element after element. You're afraid. It looks pretty freaking high. Like it looks really high. Like it looks huge, and it's just going around the whole park. And you're really high up, and you're just doing element after element, and you're just going so fast, and you're just flying around the whole park. It looks so good. Like it looks outstanding. Like that would definitely easily make one of my top coasters. All of these would make probably one of my top coasters. But yeah, it just looks so good. I've never ridden a B&M flying coaster, but this, yeah, I really want to ride this. Like, because at the time of this recording, it would be my first, which it won't be my first, because I'm going to ride Tatsu next time I go to Magic Mountain. But this just looks so good. Like, it would probably be better than Tatsu. And it's probably, most people say it's probably the best, one of the best, if not the best, flying coaster in the world, and I can definitely agree with that. It looks like that. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the number 2 spot. Number 2 is Formula Rossa. This is located in Abu Dhabi, and this is at Ferrari Land. And oh my god, this looks so good. And the reason why this is on here, it's the world's fastest roller coaster. This is the coaster that beat Kingda Ka's speed record, because Kingda Ka used to be number one for the world's fastest coaster until this beast opened. And this looks so good. Like, it's so fast. This is probably would be this. I'm guessing this is one of the most intense coasters on the planet, just because of that launch. It's like 140 miles per hour. That is so fast. That is really fast, especially if it's a hydraulic launcher. Now it's done by hydraulic, which means it's going to be super, super duper forceful. And it just looks like a fun ride. The layout looks good. Like, it looks like you get really low to the ground. You're going really, really fast, and that launch just seems amazing. It would just definitely be one of my top coasters. Like, I'm going to say that for every single coaster. Yeah. We're going to move on to the number 1 spot. And this, just before we start here, like this, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, this I know it's going to be number 1. Like, most of these are not in particular order, but this, I know it would be number 1. I know it would be. At the number 1 spot, we have Steel Vengeance. This is an RMC hybrid. This is the first RMC, like, hybrid hypercoaster. And yeah, this is located in Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. This looks just phenomenal. This looks so good. Like, you just like, it, I don't, I don't know what to say. I was like, when I heard that Mean Streak is in shutdown, I've never been to Cedar Point, but I've heard how terrible Mean Streak looks, and it doesn't really. And when I saw Mean Streak for the first time, I always thought that I've never ridden it, but I know I would probably not enjoy it. It looks like a not that good of a wooden coaster. It kind of just does a bunch of turns. That's basically it. It's really got the height, but that's basically it. It just does a bunch of turns, and I've heard it's one of the most hated roller coasters in the world. But then when I was like they shut down, I was like, they're gonna get RMC, and I didn't expect it to look this good. Like, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, it's probably gonna be a pretty outstanding RMC, but got me really just blown, really extremely blown away. I was wrong. It was this when I first saw the animation for this, I was like, this is number one on my bucket list. Like, this looks so good. Like that. Oh my god, that drop! It's huge, and then you go into this like sideways outward bank turn. That looks huge. And you go into like these crazy inversions, and towards the end of the ride, the mid course does not slow you down. That's a good thing. And there's a bunch of ejector hills. I imagine you're just flying out of your seat. And there's most airtime moments on any other coaster in the world. And looking at the elements on this ride, when I first saw it, I believed it. It looks insane. This just looks like a really insane ride. Like, if I rode this, it would probably be my number one coaster, definitely. This just looks the best. Like, most coaster enthusiasts think this is probably the number one coaster. I think it would be my number one coaster. This just looks so good. Like, I like the color scheme of it, just everything about it. This is a perfect coaster. I mean, maybe not perfect, but this is just, if it had like actual like real Disney, like if it had like, I mean, it has some theming here and there, but this is outstanding. But if it had actual good theming, like a Disney level theme, that would just make it that much better. But it kind of makes, but it doesn't really matter when you have Cedar Point and RMC together. It theming really doesn't matter at that point. Yeah. Okay, I kind of been babbling around about Steel Vengeance, but yeah. Yeah, that's the number one like bucket list coaster. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is again no particular order except Steel Vengeance. Really, that's really the only coaster that I can really like guarantee that I know that's like where it is on the bucket list. Not, but everything else is just like ones I just really want to ride. But Steel Vengeance, I know that's number one on my bucket list. But I can't really do a complete list. That's pretty hard. But yeah, these are just ones I really want to ride. Other than Steel Vengeance, I said that a million times. So yeah, you get the point now. And yeah, I would love to hear your list of bucket list coasters, like your guys' list of bucket list coasters in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Do you agree with me? Like, do you want to ride some of these coasters, or some of these coasters on your bucket list, or not? Do you disagree? Like, which coasters I want to ride, or whatever? Like, just whatever you want. Like, just put your opinion in the comment below. In the comments below, just like, what's your opinion and what's your bucket list? Like, yeah, just stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time here on Coaster Fox.